Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. So, as you can see, I'm Lakered out because I woke up this morning with the notion that I was going to encourage Laker Nation because we're going through a lot right now. I just ran into a neighbor of mine, and he's a Laker fan as well. We were talking about our team struggling a little bit and all that, and he gave me some encouragement. Said he had, seeing how bad we were doing, but we just gotta keep pushing forward. So I'm gonna tell you guys the same exact thing. The Los Angeles Lakers are in a world of trouble with Anthony Davis going out for 4 weeks. We just had our coach enter health and safety protocol. Yes, Frank Vogel is the latest to enter the protocol. You got all kinds of craziness going on. Fred VanVleet, Trey Young enter protocol. Those are the latest names. Of course, you know about KD in there. It's just rough. But let me tell you, the good thing about it, Laker fans, what we all are going to settle into understanding is the playing field is leveled because everybody's going through this. And the West is weaker than it's been in maybe 25 years on top of that. So if ever there was a year for the Los Angeles Lakers to go through exactly what they're going through right now and still have an opportunity to do good things, it's this year. It's a perfect storm for you to struggle through the absolute and utter mud and still make the playoffs. That's what I'm here to tell you. I look at the standings, I look at all the teams surrounding the Lakers, and I look at us and I say, everybody sucks. Everybody sucks. The only two teams that are honestly, well, 3 or 4 teams that are honestly in a position to do something are at the top. We're looking at them. They're ahead of us. It's Utah. It's the Grizzlies because they find a way to just destroy the league without Ja Morant. So I'd imagine it could be just as dangerous, if not more so, when he gets back. I'm taking it extremely seriously. I look at, obviously, the Phoenix Suns. And, of course, the Golden State Warriors. Now, all things considered, we don't believe we can beat the Golden State Warriors. The Suns, they beat us last time we saw them. So we don't think we can beat these teams. But that doesn't mean that we can't get to a point where we can improve our team, get Anthony Davis back in time for us to be good. And I'll tell you something else about Anthony Davis. This is what we're all going to hopefully see. And this is my theory about players going into injury in general. When you have these injuries, what ends up happening is you have to focus in on your conditioning. You make it a point to do what is told to you. In other words, yeah, do players work out and take, their regimen seriously and all that stuff? Yes. But when you're coming back from injury, that's your focus. Like, you are zeroing in on certain things. You are making sure you're making up for certain things. Your intent, your whole focus is to get you in shape. And once you get to a point where you've healed, then you start doing certain types of cardio and things of that nature in such a repetition because you've been hurt that you actually find yourself in good shape, better shape sometimes than you would have been had you been in this process of just being healthy and just going through your regular routine, because there's nothing really zeroed in terms of making your conditioning be your focal point. Now, for people like the late, great Kobe Bryant and people like Jerry Rice, the great workout warriors of this world, that's not necessarily the case. But somebody like Anthony Davis, who I could argue has not been focusing enough on his conditioning for whatever reason, whether it be because he's having trouble coming back from injuries or just his focus isn't there for that. Eating habits aren't where they need to be, all that. Now he's going to have 100 doctors all over him, 100 conditioning and strength people hovering over him, stretching people all hovering over him because he's coming back from injury. And what that usually does, as I said, is put players in a position to when they get back, they're in great shape. They have conditioning where it needs to be because the focus has been on getting them back in shape, getting their speed together, getting various parts of their physical activity into a position where they're tip top. And that is when you usually get your best out of players in some cases. Now, granted, re-injury and things of that nature, obviously this is Anthony Davis, so we're talking about something entirely different when it comes to him. But just pay attention to these types of things. When a guy's coming back from injury, if he's had enough time to let it heal and has had enough time to get in shape, he should be balling. I look at a guy like Klay Thompson. He's going to have to shake off some of that rust that comes with all of that. But understand, he's been working on his conditioning for 2 straight years. I look at John Wall, same thing. People are going to be surprised at how productive players like that can be in theory because of how focused they've been on their conditioning for long periods of time after healing. So what I'm saying is, yeah, we're counting on a 4-week period for AD. We should probably stretch that out to 7 And I know we ain't got a lot of time, but understand it's December. If we're talking about 7 weeks, probably talking about early March, which brings us right before the playoffs. If we can have him back within 4 weeks, we should give him 3 weeks to do exactly what it is I'm talking about. Get his conditioning together, whether it be light minutes, short minutes work, and more conditioning, better, whatever needs to be done behind the scenes. If they do what they're supposed to do to get his body healed first and then conditioned right, he can come back and be a better Anthony Davis than we've seen to start this season, to say the least. Obviously, he hasn't been in shape. Obviously, he hasn't looked himself. Obviously, he hasn't been focused on basketball. Well, basketball's just been snatched from him. So if he was losing interest in basketball, well, now he doesn't have a choice. He can't play it now. He got to focus on getting healthy. And when he gets back, he's going to realize how much he missed the game. He's going to realize how much he missed being a Laker. And most importantly, he's also going to have time to have thought about how bad he looked and how bad our team's looking because of it. And hopefully you have better teammates, because I'm assuming Rob Pelinka's on the phones right now trying to make some moves to make us better. Hopefully sending people to Indiana and bringing us back a front court that we can actually work with. So that's what I'm hopeful will happen. Anthony Davis will come back and be playing with Miles Turner instead of having to run small ball lineups where he's the dang center. And if that's the case, couple that with what I hope will be him coming back better than ever, hey, maybe the Lakers can put themselves in a position to have a nice little run toward the playoffs. Now, all of that has to fall in line with a lot of things, including the other guys staying healthy. And I have my questions about whether LeBron James is going to stay healthy through this process. He's already dealing with knick-knack injuries. It seems like his injuries start to pile up more and more and more. So I don't know if he's going to make it through the season himself. But what I am saying is, if all of that falls into place, we should have a better Anthony Davis than we've seen to start the season. Or we can have him for about a game and he re-injures something when he's out forever. Because also that's a possibility. We're dealing with Anthony Davis. So, yeah, it is what it is. Don't look for him to be traded. We can't trade him for a plethora of reasons. One being he's hurt. And nobody's going to trade for a hurt Anthony Davis. And I don't believe you can actually trade injured players. But all in all, the Lakers are in a position where even though they're struggling, so is the rest of the league. The Western Conference isn't that great. And if we're able to stay above teams that just flat out aren't as good as us, even when we're struggling in some cases, we should be fine. So, yeah, it's a lot. But that's what I got. That is the positivity to look at, because really everything else is doom and gloom. If this were any other season, and I mean any other season, we'd be out of it. But because the West is so weak, I think we got a shot. I really think we're going to make the playoffs or the play-in tournament. And I need people to remember this. You know where we finished the season last year? In the play-in tournament. We got bounced in the first round. So as far as I'm concerned, we're significantly worse than we were last year. And if we're able to do what we did last year, then that speaks to how the improvement is going between the players that we have, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. They can maintain, even through adversity, to manage to match last year's intensity, as opposed to being worse with less talent. So that's something to build upon in terms of whether or not they want to move forward together. I did see LeBron James's tweet. I did have my questions about who that's pointed toward. It reminds me of the clenched fist from Cleveland. It's time for him to start doing that, though. I'm not going to lie. It's time for him to start doing that. I ain't mad. I think LeBron James needs to light a fire under people's backside. I think he needed to be completely honest with people. And I think if people didn't receive his honesty properly, I think he needed to try to push buttons in other ways. Anthony Davis has not given LeBron James what he deserves from him after winning that championship. That first championship, it seemed like LeBron James was still hungry. And Russell Westbrook's hungry. Everybody on this team seems to be hungry. But Anthony Davis, the one we need to be the leader of everything in terms of holding down most of the energy, holding down most of the load, seems to be despondent, seems to not want to play, seems to not really want to, do what it takes to make sure he's ready. And I think LeBron James has been very patient with him. I think Laker Nation has been very patient with him. I think Jeannie Buss has been very patient with him. And I think we're getting to a point where we're tired of that. And as I've said this in this camera 106 times, when you come here, I understand that it's the media over the last 50 years has painted us out to be heaven's destination. When you come to the Lakers, you're going to win. And when you win, we're going to have parades on Figueroa. And when we have parades on Figueroa, everybody's going to give you MVPs and all-star appearances, and life is going to be easier. You're going to make more money off the court, all this beautiful stuff. But let me tell you something. We are not the place to come to if you want to stop working. If you want to stop winning, if you get to a point in your life where you want to win one championship and one championship only, don't come here. Do not come here, because we're in the business of collecting those. Championships are like stamps for us. We collect them. They're not something that we just want to get one and be pleased with ourselves for the rest of our lives. If that were the case, we wouldn't have 17 of them up there. I keep telling people, Anthony Davis, I appreciate what he's done in one championship, but he seems like he appreciates it more than we do. He appreciates that he won a championship and he has completed his goals in this NBA. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not what the Lakers are about. It's not what we're about. Grew up on Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq and Kobe, Pau Gasol. These are multiple championship winners who came here hungry. And I'm looking at LeBron James. He's got 4. You think he's cool? He don't look cool to me. I don't know, Anthony. If you're comfortable with one championship, then you're just going to be another guy. We can start putting you in the conversation of really nice all-star centers like Rick Smits. You can be one of those, bro, and that's cool. Rick Smits had an amazing career. But I think you're aiming for something higher, brother. You know what I'm saying? I think you're aiming for something higher, and I don't think you've accomplished that yet. And I don't think anybody around you believes you accomplished that. And I don't think you should be on the top 75 list either. I don't believe that. I think Dwight Howard's much more deserving than you are at this point. And that's on you. I think if you would have left us with a better taste in our mouth, I think we'd be singing a different song. But right now, nah, we ain't seeing it. And through this injury, I understand this is separate. The injury has nothing to do with it. This is about everything before the injury, obviously. Nobody's going to be retarded as complaining about someone getting hurt. But I'm talking about the attitude you need to have when you get back. I'm talking about when you're healthy. What attitude we're expecting. It ain't what we've been receiving. We ain't cool with none of this. Nobody in Laker Nation is cool with any of the energy that we received from Anthony Davis to start this season. And I understand being hurt, but we've also had players play through injury. It's about the attitude. We watched Dwight bull through injuries. We watched Kobe bull through injuries. We watched so many people bull through injuries over the years. Shaq bull through injuries. Sometimes you can't go, but it's about that attitude. You know? It's about that attitude. It's about that energy. It's about how much winning matters to you. And when you put your hands on your player, Dwight Howard, to get his mind right, are you sure you're giving him the same energy that you're asking of him? You know, that's the type of stuff we're talking about. You want to hold other people accountable, which is great. But are you looking in the mirror and doing that same thing? Because that's what we need from you. That's what Laker Nation is demanding. People want you out of here. They want you to go to Chicago because it seems like your mind is already there. And look, we can handle that. We're the fan base that can say bye to anybody. Dwight, Shaq, we wave to anybody. Because we going to be us whether you here or not, brother. We went through the depths of hell. We had Robert Sacre running around. We will survive. So if you want to go to Chicago, I welcome you to leave if this is the energy you plan on giving us in staying. I kid you not. And I think most of Laker Nation feel the same way. We'll take the cap space, brother, and appreciate the championship. This ain't that. We ain't that. We ain't begging nobody to stay. That whole situation where we begged Dwight to stay, that was ridiculous. Nobody in our fan base wanted us to do that. That was marketing. Nobody was behind that. And we ain't going to be behind it here. Under no circumstance, with no player. Our favorite player stayed forever. And that ain't something that you can, no. His life is no longer with us. He stayed forever. So as far as I'm concerned, ain't nobody else got to stay. All y'all can leave if it's going to be an issue. If nobody wants to play ball and win championships and continue to add on, all y'all can bounce. We'll find new talent. Because this is who we are. It's what we about. It's on the front, not the back. 17 NBA championships. We are not done. We are not satisfied. And anybody that comes here trying to be satisfied, you need to get up out of here. That's that. So that's what I wanted to say. I want to address Laker Nation, remind everybody that we're not just a bunch of bandwagoners who don't believe in hard work and making things happen from a organic standpoint. We don't mind having a bunch of kids that we can watch grow up. We also don't mind throwing $600 million at a good roster, so long as it's ready to compete. That's how we feel, man. That's how I feel. My name is BDF44. I'll leave it at that. Enjoy the game tonight, 5 o'clock, Chicago. It ain't really much to break down. It ain't. Half our team is hurt. We don't think we're going to be able to rebound. We don't even know who we're going up against because of this COVID protocol. Their whole team has been missing for all week long. Had 2 or 3 games missed. They haven't played in over a week. We're the first game they've had in over a week. So there is nothing to break down. We'll know what we're looking at when we see him run around, and that's pretty much that. but make no mistake about it. Even throughout all this COVID, everything, our focus is still the same. We're going after 18, and if it ain't about that, then there's nothing to watch. Period. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.